And I'm telling you guys, it is freaking embarrassing to be an Eagles fan at this point. I mean, that team is abysmal. It's tough to watch. So I don't even know what the score is. I turned the game off. They're freaking playing one of the worst teams in the league. Anyway, so make a YouTube video, and I thought today would be fun to talk about EDC survival packs and my like little assault pack type deal, and just generally the differences between a couple of things. So one thing that I wanted to jump into real quick is my survival kit. I've been trying to change this around, or 72-hour bag, as you would call it. This isn't going to get you past a couple days. Now, there's a few things missing out of this. The RMRs, or the what are they called? You know, the food rations, and some of the food items are missing out of here because I've been testing them out and trying them, and I just haven't replaced them yet. So I have to do that. And then also I'm looking to get something a little bit bigger to where I can store some more items inside. And also my ember lit stove is not here yet, and I just kind of wanted to do the video. But when that stove comes, I'm actually going to do a video on 72-hour bag, or you know, bug out bag cooking stuff, because honestly, let me just move. I feel like it's going to fall off the table here. Sorry. Honestly, I feel like for EDC, like I see a lot of guys, and I talked this in a couple of videos before, but I see some guys packing in their EDC or in their 72-hour bags shelters and all kinds of cooking stuff and like all kinds of stuff like that. And to me, like, that's fine. It depends on what you're doing. But for me, 72 hours, I mean, that's 3 days. So I don't know if it's a 72-hour pack dedicated for that, then shelter and food is a definite must. Yeah, but if it's like a get home bag, I feel like all three of those are different, and they should be packed differently. And that's just me. If you're just a one all kind of bag, that's fine. And then the other thing to consider is anything really past 3 or 4 days or even a week. You know, that's going to be tough for the average person who's not trained, who doesn't use their gear, and who really just kind of buys a bunch of stuff at Walmart or whatever. Or even if you buy the top of the line stuff, it's going to be real tough for you to survive anything past 5 days. And let's just be realistic about it. I mean, there's people with the fires, like out in California. Those people have it bad. I mean, you know, and I'm sure some of them, most of them, I hope, would be prepared. But for me, if I was living in that kind of environment where there was a risk of a fire just coming and just taking my home and everything I owned, I would definitely have a bag with probably a fire jacket or blankets in it and stuff like that. So fire can, you know, it's killed a lot of people, and it's really sad to see all those homes destroyed and lives ruined. And those people may not, you know, they don't have nowhere to go. I mean, they're like tent cities, and it's just horrible. It's a horrible situation. So one thing you can do is to, if, you know, like, and this is the point. This is why we do videos like this, because like people, and around here especially, and I guess there could be a lot of people that are, but prepped or like prepping, we're like thinking about it, but like a lot of people that I know, they just don't care. They don't think it's going to ever happen. And it's more or less like, oh, I got, you know, they wait, like around here, they wait until the news tells you, like, cause like around here, if like when Sandy or something happened, like the news, or even like a bad snowstorm, which comes through here 4 or 5 times a year last year, right? Walmarts and Home Depots and all these places just get jam-packed with people trying to buy this, trying to buy that. Like, you got to get those kind of things way ahead of the time, and like think in your head, like, you know what I mean? So people just don't think about it. So that's why I make videos like this, to make awareness, not really make awareness, but to show you kind of what you can put in these bags. Now, like, one thing is like this, the stuff that I have in my backpacks is strictly for what I have, my uses. Every bag's going to be different. This is not the things that you might not want in your bag. Depends on where you live, depends on how far you got to walk, or whatever you think you're going to be dealing with. So, but one of the things is definitely that you can have is medical. And that's like probably the most, if not one of the most important things besides fire and water. If you don't have those two things in your bags, then you know you're going to be pretty much out of luck. But injury can happen. Hopefully it doesn't. And this is my medical pack, which may be a little bit over the top, and I don't know if I'm going to keep that. So we'll see. This is more or less like my this I always like to keep in my car in case there's somebody crashes or there's some kind of an active shooter or something like that. I got a tourniquet. I actually keep another tourniquet in my assault pack, which I'll get to, and then there's medical shears. And then inside here you're gonna have, you know, your chest seals and all that other stuff like that. So, but we're not gonna get into that. The only other thing I really want to show you is, about this is just some of the important things. So this being a 72-hour bag, I keep my cooking stuff in here. So one thing I have for cooking is just this Stanley steel thing that you see everybody have this thing, and it's just real simple. It comes with a couple of cups, and you can cook with this thing and boil water, and it's real simple, and you know, no big deal. Now this thing though, the problem I have with these is they take up room, so it wouldn't hurt to like keep things inside here like a hank. Keep a hank in there, so in case you need to filter out water. I always have a hank on me, but you know, you can pack this up with stuff too, like maybe some extra fire tenders or fire starters or stuff like that. So that's a good thing about these, but they do take up room in your pack. So, but you know, you definitely have to have them. So another part of my cook kit, and like I said, the Emberlit stove, it was supposed to show up yesterday and it didn't, but I wanted to do this video, so you guys know what the stove is, and I'll do a dedicated video just to that stove where you can see how that works and why I picked that one in particular, because there are specific reasons why I picked that one. But anyway, this is the other option for a bowl that I use, and I like this one a lot because it's flat. And this is called the Bear Bowl, and there's a bunch of different sizes. I just picked their medium size, and this folds up into, it's got like this fiberglass wax canvas material, and it folds up into a bowl like this, and then it cinches. I guess I'll just put it together for you since it'll be easier. Alright, fold it like that, and then you bring the strap over, and then boom, you have your bowl. And this thing, I've tried this, I made a video on this. It does hold water, it boils water. So let's just say this is the Emberlit stove, which wouldn't be a circle, it's actually a square like this and folds up. You would put it on top, boil your water. Or this, so this is a pretty good combination set right here to have a bowl, to maybe you're boiling water in this and maybe you're cooking soup in this or whatever you're doing. I don't know, but this is fireproof, so pretty awesome. And it's got the steel bottom. So this is really cool. I got this on a Kickstarter thing. So yeah, it's a really cool item to have in your survival kit, especially if you're stressed for room. You don't want to put a ton of stuff in your... I gotta go chase the dog. She has something. Be right back. See, I've learned not to tuck my mic because if I have to chase the dog, I have to be able to take it off quickly. So anyway, stoves. Those are cool stoves to have, bowls to have, especially if you're stressed for room. I mean, really guys, you can fold this thing up, right? And keep this. This is another reason why I really like this. It's so easy to just... It goes this way, and wrap that around. Now I can just kind of keep this in my little assault pack thing if I wanted to, which I really like this thing a lot. We'll get to that in a minute. So there's that. And for water, obviously, there's other options. You're gonna boil water for fresh water, and you're gonna, you know, I have other things you can do to strain water through a schmog, through a bandana. But my main source of water filtration would be a Sawyer. And this is not the greatest thing in the world, but it's in a pinch, it's not bad. You can screw it on The reason why I have this in my 72-hour backpack or my get home bag is because it'll screw onto basically any water bottle, and you just fill that up and you're good to go. I usually always have water bottles in my car, and there's definitely always an empty one in there. If I didn't have a water bottle, then you can just stick this in the water and suck it, which would be a last case option. But I also, in my bag, I keep, I do have the Sawyer bag, so that's in there. And you know, you can squeeze that and just fill that up or whatever. So I am looking at another one to get, though. I forget what it's called, but when I get that, I'll do a review. Actually, I'm gonna probably take this down to the creek across the way, which can't be great water, but I'm gonna try this thing out. Hopefully I don't get sick, because if there's one thing that can jack you up pretty good, it's nasty water. So but anyway, this is a proven water. A lot of people carry this. It's, you know, but you see a lot of EDC bags and get home bags and 72-hour bags where like people pull out brand new stoves and brand new bowls, and it's like they never even tried and used it. Like I literally just watched a video of a guy who's like never tried anything. So it's, you know, you got to get out there and try your stuff. I mean, this is the third one of these I've had in my lifetime, so you know, I know it works. But I didn't start doing YouTube videos like this till last year, so I just keep this in my bag too. And this is just a VanQuest water bottle holder, just in case I need more room inside. I can put this on the outside, or water bottle or whatever. And this is the VanQuest thingy. Now this is this is like the most important, if not one of the most, if not the most important thing. And I keep this in a separate pack, not all over in the bag, because in case I need to just ditch the bag and bring this with me and stick it in my assault pack, or just maybe like tie it in a paracord around my neck and have it. This is the most important thing. This is going to keep you alive, and this is my fire kit. All right, so inside here I got a Tops whistle. That's just in there because, you know, a whistle. I do have a Fox 40. They're the best whistles you can get. I'm trying to think of where that thing is actually. Oh, you know where it is? It's in my EDC bag. I gotta just put that, I want to probably put that in here, but Fox 40s are the best. And then I have a nice little fixed blade, CRKT fixed blade. And then my fire tinder that I prefer to use is cotton balls mixed in Vaseline, dryer lint, another good thing. You could just use regular cotton balls. They're gonna burn up super quick. If you soak them in Vaseline, they're gonna burn for 15, 12 minutes about. Maybe not that much, depends on how much Vaseline. And then my fire starter, I'm gonna have to get a couple more of these. I do have a few options, but I want to put more of them all over the bag, which is one thing that I don't have. But I do have a magnesium rod there. You just shave that off, and then obviously a lighter. And in the lighter, you can see I have a rubber band wrapped around the gas release there, so it just doesn't hit and release gas on accident. And you know, there's just a bunch of fire tinders and a little bit of wax paper that'll burn up nice, and just a bunch of different things like that. Oh, here it goes. This fire starter is from, I think this is the UTS one. It's not the greatest, but it's, you know, it'll work. It'll work just fine. I do want to get a couple good ones. Any recommendations on good fire steel, let me know, guys. So I want to try this one out. I've tried other ones. One I had, I lost. The really good one I've had, I think that was a Light My Fire candle or stick or whatever it is. I can't freaking imagine where that thing went. But anyway, I think somebody took it out of my car, to be honest with you, when it was in a repair shop, and they're like, "Ooh, look at this thing, Light My Fire Steel," I think it was called. I forget, but yeah, that's my little fire kit, and this is so freaking important to have. You have no idea how important that is. The next thing that I think that's really important for a get home bag or some kind of a survival bag is your handheld radio. This is the Scorpion, the Eton Scorpion 2. It's got a little wind up thing there. It's also solar powered. This is like the best one they make. It's got a little hanger hook on it, a flashlight. The flashlight will never die because this thing's solar powered. There's no battery, so you're always gonna have flashlight. One thing that is people always screw up on is they carry flashlights with batteries, or like, oh, this is my bug out bag and I have an Olight, you know, S1R2 in there and whatever. Like, that stuff's great for EDC, but it is not good for bug out videos. Like, because I feel like a lot of people just do bug out videos just for the video. Like, they don't actually plan, they don't really think about it. And you see a lot of like Walmart gear, like, oh, I have all this other, and then I pull out like a Walmart medical pack, or like I see it all the time, like there's plastic things. You got to like really think about this stuff. Like, that Walmart survival shit is garbage. The backpacks are garbage. Don't go cheap on a backpack. You don't have to go super expensive. The LA police gear ones are fine, and they're pretty cheap. I have a direct action backpack, satchel pack right here. This is a great pack. This is really a good pack to just keep in your car, if you're, you know, whatever. But it's a really good pack. I use it for certain things like the gym and stuff like that, but this is a great option. It's not expensive, and they make backpack versions of that too. So anyway, yeah, you know, you want a flashlight that's not going to die, or just don't even carry one, because the batteries are going to die. You're not going to be able to find those batteries like a S1R2 baton. Like, where are you going to find a freaking CR123 battery, like, on, you know, if something bad happens? You're just not going to find these specialized batteries like this. Does it not come out of here? There it goes. You know, these are specialized batteries. You're not just going to find them all over the place. You know, AAA batteries are great, but honestly, for your bug out bags, I would carry something like that as my main flashlight. Well, I guess it would be a backup. Like, my main flashlight source would obviously be whatever flashlight I have on me at the time. I'll mess with that in a minute. But, and then also, you know, where is it? I think it's here. I got a good headlamp, and this is just an Energizer cheapie, and it's a AAA, but it's always going to work, you know, and you're going to find AAA lights all over the place. So, you know, these are pretty much my main sources of light for my bug out bag. Something simple that you're going to find everywhere to power. You have some backup stuff, backup batteries for it, and then something that'll never die. You know, something that you can charge with the sun, something that you can wind up and charge if you have to. So these are great. This thing I've had yet to really charge up my phone. But I think in a pinch, if you sat there and winded that thing all day and it was completely dead, you could probably get a bar, maybe. I don't know. I've never tried it, but that wouldn't be my source of mainly charging my phone. Plus, your phone for a bug out bag or 72-hour bag, really out of the question. You're not going to really want to deal with that. So that's another reason why you would want something like this, because you think you're going to look at your phone for information, public information, and stuff like that, and what's going on. You know, phones are going to be dead. The grid could be down. You never really know. So a radio like this, where you can plug in, there's our favorite dog, and listen, great thing to have. On top of that, you're going to want to have, I don't think, my radio broke, so I did take it out of here, but actually, no, I'm sorry, it is in here. So this is another thing to have, but yeah, the antenna broke. It does still work, I just took it off it. But, and the batteries are in there, but they're flipped backwards, so it doesn't go on by accident. So this is the Uden. It's not a big deal. You can't, you know, talk through it or nothing, but this is going to pick up police, fire, and stuff like that, and you're going to be able to see what's going on. And on a piece of paper shoved in here, I have the main frequencies to plug in to listen for, like, weather radio, for EMS, fire, and police. So I have that in this little side admin pouch here. And then right here is probably, if not the most important thing that I'll have in my survival 72-hour bag. Get out of here, Storm. And that is a good fixed blade knife. Not just a good, you know, knife that you'll have in your pocket. We'll get into that, but a good fixed blade knife. And the one I go with is the William Collins survival knife. I've already kind of tested it. I haven't made a video on it yet, but I've been using it a lot. As you can see, it's been opening cans with this thing. I've been really like cooking steaks with this thing, flipping burgers with this thing. I mean, just try to get a feel of it, because it's a very different knife, and it's not a beginner's knife, but it's the knife. It is the top survival knife. I would not go any other way. I have another knife that I would use as a backup, but this thing right here, if I can't have my bag, I mean, I'm pulling this thing out. This is the first thing I'm putting on me, for one. And I have it in this kind of makeshift sheath right now because I haven't made a sheath for it. And I do want to stick a ferrocerium, get a sheath that has a ferrocerium rod and all that stuff, but I just haven't gotten to it yet. I've been in the process of making an Altoids tin. I have it somewhere. I've been making it. I think it's behind my computer. But, and I was going to put that on there with some fire tinder and some other stuff just so I could have it as a backup. But, you know, I need to get the sheath for this. I don't know if I'm going to go Kydex or get the leather one, but I need to clean this up. It's getting a little bit of corrosion on it. But yeah, I haven't oiled it in a while, and I've been using it. But yeah, this is the William Collins survival knife, and what it stands for, besides his initials and the acronym for that, it's Wilderness or Woods Combat Survival Kitchen. So you can pretty much do everything. It has 3 different grinds on it. This is an amazing piece of kit here. This is a big, thick knife that will go straight through drywall. It'll go right through concrete. It'll go through a steel door, and that's like a car door if you need to get in a car door and you know, hide out for the night. And that's the thing about living in the city, and that's why I really don't have too many things based on like shelter and sleeping, because you can just pretty much break into any car and just hide in there. You know what I mean? And if the car is locked, you don't want, and it's the middle of winter, and you don't want to break a window, obviously. So this thing will be able to access that car easily by punching through the steel, you know, the door, and accessing the lock. And I'm actually going to do a video on that eventually. And, you know, it won't break the tip the way he heat treated this. I've actually watched this thing go through a steel door in another video. I haven't been able to find that video recently, but it does exist, I believe. And if you go on William Collins' YouTube channel, he does put this thing through concrete. A few times, actually, like right through a concrete brick. So it will do it in a pinch. Not that, you know, you're going to need to do that, but definitely if you need to, you know, it's definitely going to be a good chopper. It's, you know, might get a little bit of a hot spot right here from chopping, but, you know, this is pretty much your, this is the kind of knife. If you can't, you know, this is a custom made, one of a kind knife, 01 tool steel, and this is number 065B. Now, this is a handmade knife just for me. So, you know, he has these in production, but you're gonna have to wait 6-7 months for it. So if you don't want to do that, but make sure you buy a knife like this. That's a full tang fixed blade, real nice and thick, that you can, you know, this thing has bow drill divots. You know, the Esses makes good knives, Tops makes great knives, Schrade makes good knives, Barker River makes good knives. So, you know, do your research. Don't get a cheapy knife from Harbor Freight that isn't worth shit. You know, it'll snap in your face and actually do more damage to you than it will anything else. So this is the knife of choice for me. Now, getting into knives and flashlights and all that, you know, it's important that you have a well-rounded EDC just to begin with. And by that, I mean having simple things like a half-decent knife. You know, this is just a Kershaw dividend, but it's a cheap knife. It's not expensive, but it's a good one. Now, do I have expensive knives? Of course I do. You guys know I do. I have the Spyderco Paramilitary 2s. I have the ZTO 808. I have the Benchmade Bug Out. I have these knives. You know, am I going to carry them every day? No, I don't really carry them every day. I carry a good American knife that's made in the USA. It's proven to be pretty good. It's got a fast action on it, and you know, if I drop it or lose it, I'm not going to be stressed and worried about a $200 knife. But it's a good quality knife. I have a few Kershaws that are made not only by the American-made ones, Kershaw, because they're good. So a well-rounded EDC is important. Now, don't get me wrong. I also have the iconic Spyderco. what is this? Oh, this is the Delica 4, which is a great knife, but it's not the, you know, it'll do in a pinch. It's just a little $60 knife, but it'll work, you know, and it's a good knife. A lot of knife people have it, and it's just, you know, it's a really good option for an EDC knife. If you want to carry, and don't get me wrong, once in a while I'll throw my PM2 and my ZT, which is still broken on the clip, and I'm really due for a new knife actually, so we'll see. I'm thinking about the Benchmade 0808, or I'm sorry, is it that, or the Benchmade, not the Bug Out, the Osborne, I forget what it's called, but anyway, Wrangler Star always raves about it. So that's knives. Another thing about EDC is your flashlight. Your EDC flashlight is probably what's going to get you through the first 72 hours anyway. So, you know, an Olight S1R2 baton for me is my EDC light. That's always going to be in this little pouch. Now, generally this pouch is always close by, especially if I'm at work. This is the pouch, you know, this is the one I always have with me. And inside here, I have a ruck, a Giltech ruck. Now these things here, these are not knives, but these are utility blades, but they're really cool, they're useful, and I've really been able to save the blade on my knife and the edge on my knife because I've been just using this thing, you know, and these are just great. And so that's in there. And then obviously a Leatherman Surge, which, you know, if you don't have a Leatherman by now and you're watching this channel, honestly, needs to be the first thing you get. Every guy needs to have a Leatherman. Now, you can get your Gerbers, you can get your SOG, you can get whatever, but honestly, I swear by Leatherman, and they're the best. There's no other two ways about it. And then my other tool in here is just a little mini pry tool. Now, this isn't going to be my go-to pry tool. I just kind of use this here and there. It's got a bottle opener on it, but this is a custom made by Brassworks by oh my god, John Smith over there, Brassworks at 875 FPS on Instagram, so check him out. And I've had this thing for a while. He's actually become a pretty good friend. Never met him in person, but through the internet we've become friends, and he's a great guy. He actually sent me something for the giveaway, which what's his name has now, so that's cool. Now, like I said, another thing you can have that I have in here is just some wool socks. And then in this area here, this is where I have my maps, and then some toilet paper. And then inside of this little wallet here, I have some fishing gear, really cheap stuff that you just get it, like, you know, out of some Harbor Freight kit. But there is a fish hook in there. There's a couple matches and some sewing stuff, so it's just a real cheapy kind of thing, but I guess in a pinch it would work, especially that fishing hook. And then the only other thing in there is a bunch of paracord. This is the paracord I have for now. You know, you can use this for fishing string, you can use this for all kinds of different stuff. It's so important to have paracord, but it's not the paracord I would go with. So I'm gonna recommend that you get yourself some Titan Survival paracord, because that is the best. And you can get that stuff at Canadian Prepper's website. So that is pretty much it for all those pouches. I have a hat. There's always a hat in my bug out bag, or my get home bag, whatever the heck you want to call it. This is not really more than a 3-day bug out bag, so we're just going to call it the get home bag. Bug out bag to me is going to be long term, and this bag just isn't going to do it. It's not going to do it for more than 3 days, that's for sure, especially with no food in it. This thing wouldn't even get me past 3 days if I have no food in it right now. So, but living in the city, you know, you're going to have to scavenge and know where to go, where to hide, be incognito and things like that. So, but I'm not counting on those kind of things. Most of the time, I'm going to be just getting home and staying home and not leaving. And I think that's what a lot of people confuse themselves with, like, oh, I need to bug out, and you know, I got this whole bug out plan. But really, if you live in a place like Philadelphia, you're going to bug out with 7 million people. Come on, give me a break, man. You're not going to want to leave this place. So get yourself an AR-15, get yourself a shotgun, get yourself a handgun, and stay in house. And don't leave until things clear up, or, you know, unless you absolutely have to leave, like, oh my God, I got to leave. The freaking walls are coming down. There's, you know, then it's like a last case. So as far as everything goes, like have this stuff, you know. This is, like I said, this is get home. This is like, I'm in my car, I'm far away, I gotta get home, you know. Traffic's jammed, there's been an earthquake through Philadelphia, and there's no other way to get home other than walking, or, you know, use your imagination. There's so many different things that can happen, and there's so many things that are happening. Things are happening. Look at the news, read the paper. Oh, look at Google, I don't know. You could probably just hit Google in the last 10 days and find some kind of natural disaster somewhere, whether it's in Mexico with these crazies, or the forest fires in California, or, you know, earthquakes in Japan, and, you know, wherever over there. It's crazy. All right, so moving on with this, like I said, there's some maps and toiletries and stuff, and these are not my main sources of maps, but they're there. So only other thing, oh, it's okay. So here's another thing here in this front pouch that I always keep. I hope this video doesn't cut out. This might be a two-part video, so we'll try to make it, and then we'll get into the EDC stuff, but try to get through this real quick. But safety glasses. I have 2 pairs in here. Cheap pair and the pair. These are the pair that I'm gonna put on probably almost instantly. You get something in your eye, something flies in your eye, you're pretty much screwed. So put safety glasses. I see no one have safety glasses in their bug out bags or their get home bags. I just don't see it. This has to be organized a little bit more. This top pouch here, I have a bunch of just stuff in here. There's duct tape wrapped around a survival tool, the British lifeboat stormproof matches, which are super insanely, they burn really hot. I mean, these are the big boys, and I got a bunch of them in here, but I do want to put these in some kind of waterproof container. There's a couple of, I have to organize this better to where these, the match things, you know, back in the day, you used to be able to light the stuff off a rock or off your clothing or a shoe or anything really, but, you know, the safety Nazis have found their way towards matches, so you can't do that anymore. And then one thing, you're going to always want to make sure this is either wrapped separately, or they're not any way for them to strike this, because if they do, and it doesn't take much to strike these matches, and if it does hit that, you're going to have a bomb in your backpack, and all these go off at once. That's going to really cause some damage to not only your kit, but, you know, this could really hurt you bad if you have this and it goes off. So I got some light sticks. I'm not sure how good these are. I know there's an expiration date on these somewhere, but these are just an unbelievable piece of emergency backup light that you would need. So chem lights, earplugs, really important to have. And then obviously part of your EDC is a well-rounded firearm. This is obviously my Glock 43, which is what I always carry. I don't carry anything else besides my Glock 43. I'll get into that in another video. I mean, I do carry an extra mag, especially in my assault pack here, which is part of my EDC bag, which is usually just what I have on me. It's just this thing here, which has got my batting gloves in there, an extra magazine, a K-bar, and a cat tourniquet. And then inside here, I just have you know, other knick-knack stuff here, a notebook by another Hank, another Gil-Tech ruck on a Victorinox, and that's it. And then sometimes I'll throw a Leatherman in here, and then just some medications and stuff like that. Well, man, this stuff's gonna be a hell of a time putting all this crap back, that's for sure. My only really piece of shelter that I have in my kit would be this here, and this is great to have. This is not your little chintzy like these things here, which will work in a pinch, but this is a full-size big old freaking emergency blanket, and this thing is kick-ass. You can use this as shelter, you can use it to haul wood around and logs or whatever, so that's great to have. And then you have your Pennsylvania maps, which I have to laminate or get better ones, but these are what I have for now, and these are old school, so they're going to have a bunch of old roads that are closed and people don't use anymore. Maps. I don't have a compass in here because it's broken, but I do want to get the Sunto or Sunto compass. I forget what it's called. All right, now, so the only other thing in here that's in this front pouch here is some Maxpedition ties, in case you need to tie more stuff to the outside of the pack, and 2 N95 masks. So they're not gonna really do anything good for you for chemical, but for dust, for fire, if you live in that fireplace, those are really good to have. But I wouldn't recommend, there's other better ones you can get, especially if you live in an environment that's prone to forest fires, if that's the case. I know in Jersey they have them sometimes. So, you know, if I could be down the shore, there could be a huge fire and I might have to walk through it, or, you know, just have them. Just get some N95 masks. You can get these anywhere anymore. So I use the ones that have the filter on it. Just the ones that are just a dust mask, those are just for what they are, dust. So those are not great for chemical. They're not going to stop biological or anything like that, but for heavy smoke and dust, they'll do the trick. And you can, you know, even get away with a hank, you know. But I do want to do a video on a biological warfare mask, because I do have one coming soon. I tried to get it, the company to send it to me, but you know, I actually changed my mind on how I want to run this channel. So that's pretty much it for my survival kit, guys. I mean, my get home bag, which has everything all over the place now. But the only other thing is my EDC backpack. So we'll probably do this in another video. But yeah, this is my EDC backpack, and this is pretty much with me all the time. And if I need to get home, I have this. So I'm gonna try to do it in this video, but I'm not really sure how it might cut out on me. So if it does, we'll do it in another video, but I'll just kind of skim through it real quick. So this is what's always on me. This is gonna get me home if I don't have this. So, and this is just filled with like a lot of EDC stuff for the winter. It's got your PR hat, it's got some leather gloves, my notebook, and then and this is Recycle Firefighter backpack, by the way. And in case I didn't mention this, the other one here is a VanQuest Trident 20 Generation 2. This medical pack up front here, that's a North American Rescue Pack. And the little assault pack right here is your Special Operations Equipment Fanny Pack, the new one they make. So yeah, inside here I have this all set up. I have a couple hanks up here, and then in this area down here I keep my personal medical kit. And inside here I'm not going to open this thing up, but it's got, you know, a rat's tourniquet, chest seals, stuff like that. So trauma kit stuff is really important. I have band-aids. My boo-boo kit, I just keep that in my little pack here. And this is where my boo-boo kit is. But this also has all my tools. You got your backup Leatherman, my main pry tool, a crescent wrench, knife sharpening kit, another razor blade, some EDC stuff, a Tide-to-Go pen, Sharpie marker. One of the most important things for inner city survival stuff is a sill lock key. This is going to open up your water faucets. A lot of industrial buildings in the city, they're not just going to have a faucet you can go turn and access their water, so you're going to need this key. So that's super important to have. I've had that in a lot of my videos. On the back here, I have zip ties. You never know, you're going to need to zip tie someone's head together or your arm. These knife sharpeners are pretty much junk, but I have it just in a pinch. And this is my boo-boo kit, Neosporin. I see a lot of people carry diarrhea pills in their boo-boo kits or in their medical kits. Don't carry diarrhea pills. The worst thing you can do when you have diarrhea is take a diarrhea pill, because what that's going to do is keep the stuff in you. And you don't want to do that. You want to get it out as fast as possible. So just let it run its course, drink plenty of water. That's how you get rid of it. So, and hydrate yourself constantly. So yeah, this is just my boo-boo kit. And you say boo-boo kit. Band-aids, gauze, knick-knack, stuff like that. Extra batteries for your O-lights. Gotta have them, because if you don't have your chargers and those O-lights, you're not gonna find batteries around. So, you know, that's just something EDC wise, but yeah. So there's that. That's pretty much my toolkit. And then I have some lock picking stuff here, Borgata lock picks. There were, oh man, where are they actually? I'm not sure where my actual lock picks went. I've misplaced them, it seems, but they're usually around somewhere. Up in this pack here is where I'll keep some extra ammo and mags in case I need to grab at those and get them. And then in this little zipper pouch here, I just keep some extra rounds just in case, but these are hollow points. And those are your STX Rangers. STX, your Rangers 147 grain. I usually just carry your Hornady 135 grain flex locks. That's my EDC ammo choice. And then, like I said, here's just medical and a toothbrush actually, and toothpaste. And then this pack here, this is just a little simple EDC kit. This has nothing to do with survival, but I do have a lighter, a spoon, some wound seal, chapstick, a comb. This is a Maxpedition Daily Essentials pouch, by the way. Alcohol swab, and this is a really good fixed blade, little mini fixed blade by Tops. This is your Wolf Pup. And then I have a SWAT tourniquet back here, just in case. Your Sharpie marker and a zebra pen. Last case scenario, as a good pen for kicking someone's ass if you need to. And then I have just a bunch of a condom, which don't ever use for anything besides probably making a water balloon or a balloon animal. Earplugs, just stuff like that, another notepad. And that is pretty much it. Wow, I can't believe I got through this whole video without having to get cut off. It might. So all this is put together by my stupid thing I made out of a knife cutting board, because Recycle Firefighter didn't have that rigid panel available, so I just made one. So yeah, the EDC pack is always on me. That's in case, that's for everyday stuff. The assault pack is always on me. If I don't feel like carrying my firearm, it's available for me here, which usually I always carry this, but you know, for places like my workplace, if I'm not allowed to have my firearm, I just slip it out of there, put it in its lockbox, take this out, and now I'm able to just use this. There's nothing wrong with having a tourniquet. You know, I can have that all day, but you know, as far as having a gun and an extra mag, can't have that. But it's really easy for me to take it out and lock it up where it needs to be locked up nice and safe. Oh, one thing I did forget is my super awesome flashlight that's over here, and that is your Olight M2T Warrior. Usually I'll wear this thing when I'm walking the dog. If I don't feel like having my gun on me when I'm walking the dog, I'll put it here and just have this thing around me. If I'm going to the gym, my gun goes in here. This is usually all I bring to the gym. Unless I'm running or doing something where I need my lifting belt, then I'll bring my bigger bag and I'll load this up with some things. But other than that, guys, that is pretty much it. And that's my philosophy on everything and how I pretty much think about everything. If I'm going a farther distance, or if it's a time day, or you know, certain time of the year where I think that I might need my get home bag, I'll throw that in my car, but it is always ready to go at home if I need to leave or whatever. So that's pretty much my thinking on everything. The only other thing I can recommend is having a nice watch, good watch. It's always going to tell time and never really die. So either get solar powered or automatic. You know, who wants to carry extra watch batteries around? You know, you don't want to be fiddling on a watch. My wallet, you guys know it's always been the same. Just pretty much have the RDIF blocker, and then in the back here, I just keep some lock picks. Now, these aren't the ones I was looking for earlier. They're around in that bag somewhere. I moved them because they kept falling out. But and now, I do have on a little piece of paper here some emergency phone numbers. We rely on our cell phones a lot, so much these days that it doesn't hurt to have some phone numbers written down. But man, that was a lot of information, 44 minutes, but that's pretty much how my philosophy is on all that. So you guys want to take that all into consideration, maybe build your kits, whatever you're going to do. And like I said, try this stuff out, you know, go use this stuff, you know, it doesn't hurt, doesn't take long. Go out to a pond or whatever, you know, you're walking your dog, or, you know, you're just going for a walk, or just bring a little water bottles, try your life straws, try your little stoves. You know, I see so many EDC guys or get home bag and they pull out all this brand new stuff that's never been cooked. Now, obviously this I've never used because I wouldn't use this. And I know it works. It's a freaking piece of steel bowl. Of course it's gonna work. But that other bowl, the bear bowl, I've used that plenty of times, and you know, I actually have a video on it. So anyway, guys, that's it for this one. I hope you guys enjoy. Like, share, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. And that's it. Peace.